because we're about to plunge headfirst into one of those powerful and enduring works of literature. Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Just imagine in 1775, a world on the brink of revolution. We're talking two iconic cities, London, bustling with commerce and ambition, and Paris, simmering with discontent and yearning for change. And through excerpts, for the novel itself, we're going to unpack the intricate tapestry Dickens weaves, the lives intertwined, the sacrifices made, the love and loss that define this era of upheaval. You ready for this? First, let's set the scene. Dickens masterfully contrasts the two cities. London, with its vibrant energy, financial institutions at its heart, representing a world of stability, albeit with its own share of social disparities. Then we shift to Paris, where the stench of poverty and the rumblings of revolution are palpable. Dickens doesn't shy away from the grim realities, the mud-caked streets, the constant threat of violence, the looming presence of the Bastille, a symbol of oppression that casts a long shadow over the city. It's through these vivid descriptions that he transports us to this era, allowing us to almost feel the grit beneath our fingernails, hear the whispers of dissent on the wind. Now, let's meet some of the key players in this dramatic saga. We have Dr. Manette, a figure whose story embodies the injustice of the times. Imagine you're wrongfully imprisoned in the Bastille for 18 years, stripped of your freedom, your sanity almost slipping away. Dickens meticulously crafts this character, making us feel the weight of Manette's suffering, his struggle to reclaim his life upon release. And then there's the heart-wrenching moment of his reunion with his daughter Lucie. It's a moment of pure emotional intensity, joy, relief, but also the lingering trauma that shadows their newfound happiness. And then we have Charles Darnay, a French aristocrat who chooses to renounce his title and inheritance, seeking a new life in England. He's a man caught between two worlds, grappling with the legacy of his aristocratic lineage, while yearning for a life built on his own merits. Of course, Dickens wouldn't let things be easy. Darnay finds himself entangled in a web of mistaken identity and political intrigue, a suspenseful plot line that keeps us guessing about his true nature and the dangers that lie ahead. But perhaps the most enigmatic character of all is Sidney Carton, a brilliant but deeply flawed lawyer. On the surface, he appears cynical and self-destructive, drowning his potential in alcohol and indifference. Yet, Dickens hints at a hidden depth to Carton, a flicker of nobility beneath the jaded facade, and the fact that he bears a striking resemblance to Darnay. Well, that's a detail that sets off all sorts of alarm bells. Is it mere coincidence, or is there a deeper connection between them? Dickens masterfully plants these seeds of intrigue, prompting us to question their relationship and what role it will play in the unfolding drama. Remember that courtroom scene in England where Darnay is accused of treason? Dickens masterfully builds the tension, the air thick with suspicion and uncertainty. There's a palpable sense of danger as witnesses testify, their words carrying the weight of life and death. And then that unexpected twist, a witness who looks strikingly similar to Darnay. It's a moment that throws everything into question, leaving us on the edge of our seats wondering about the implications. And just when it seems all hope is lost, Carton steps in, his quick thinking and legal maneuvering saving the day. But the question remains, what is the true nature of their connection, and how will it impact their intertwined destinies? Now, well, Darnay seems to have found a semblance of peace in England. Across the Channel, the fires of revolution are burning ever brighter in Paris. Whispers have turned to shouts, discontent into open rebellion. The people are fed up with inequality, with oppression, and they're ready to fight for change, whatever the cost. It's here that we meet the Defarges, revolutionaries who operate a seemingly innocuous wine shop that serves as a front for their clandestine activities. Their establishment becomes a hub for the discontented, a place where revolutionary fervor simmers beneath the surface, waiting to erupt. And at the heart of this revolutionary fervor stands Madame Defarge, a figure both captivating and terrifying. Picture her, sitting quietly, knitting. But her needles aren't crafting cozy garments, they're weaving a registry of those marked for death. A chilling testament to the revolution's unforgiving nature. Through Madame Defarge, Dickens embodies the cold, calculating fury of the revolution, reminding us that the pursuit of justice can sometimes morph into a thirst for vengeance. Her presence is a constant reminder that the revolution isn't just about lofty ideals, it's also about settling scores, about a reckoning fueled by years of pent-up rage and resentment. But amidst the chaos and uncertainty, there's a flicker of hope, a reminder of the enduring power of love. Darnay, having found solace in England, falls deeply in love with Lucie. Their romance unfolds against the backdrop of revolution, a testament to the enduring strength of the human heart even in the face of turmoil. Dickens captures their love story with a tender beauty, their stolen glances, their shared moments of quiet joy, providing a poignant counterpoint to the darkness that surrounds them. It's in these moments that we see the humanity that persists. Even as the world crumbles around them, And then there's Sidney Carton, our brooding lawyer who, as you might have guessed, harbors his own feelings for Lucie. Talk about unrequited love. He knows his affections will never be reciprocated, yet his devotion to her is unwavering. There's this incredibly poignant scene where he confesses his love, promising to do anything for her happiness, even sacrifice his own life. It's a moment that reveals the true depth of his character, the nobility hidden beneath his cynical exterior. And it's a promise, as we'll soon discover, that he intends to keep. Just when it seems Darnay and Lucie might finally find lasting happiness in England, fate intervenes. A letter arrives from Paris. A desperate plea for help from Gabelle, a former servant of Darnay's family. Torn between his newfound life and a sense of duty to those he left behind, Darnay feels compelled to return to Paris. It's a decision driven by compassion, but also by a desire to prove his worth, to distance himself from the legacy of his aristocratic past, and embrace a life of principle and action. Little does he know, this journey back to Paris will plunge him back into the very heart of the revolution, with unforeseen consequences for himself and those he loves. Remember that chilling image of Madame Defarge knitting? Well, it turns out her needles held more than just yarn. That knitted registry, a testament to her unwavering resolve, contains the names of those she deems enemies of the revolution, those she believes deserve retribution. And atop that list, the name that sends shivers down our spines, Charles Darnay. You see, Madame Defarge's revolutionary fervor isn't simply fueled by abstract ideals, it's deeply personal. Years ago, Darnay's family, the aristocratic Evremonts, were responsible for the deaths of her brother and sister. Their tragic demise ignited a burning desire for vengeance in Madame Defarge, a simmering rage that has only intensified over time. And despite Darnay's attempts to distance himself from his family's past, his renunciation of their title and privilege, he remains a symbol of their oppression, a target for her unyielding pursuit of justice, or perhaps revenge. Upon his return to Paris, Darnay walks straight into the lion's den, a city now consumed by the revolution's relentless tide. The streets are teeming with mobs, the air thick with tension and the constant threat of violence. And who do we find orchestrating much of this chaos? The Defarges. Of course, they waste no time in denouncing Darnay, leveraging their influence to ensure his swift arrest. It's a chilling reminder of their power, their ability to manipulate the revolution's fervor, to serve their own ends. Meanwhile, Dr. Manette, having experienced the horrors of the Bastille firsthand, is desperate to save his son-in-law from a similar fate. He uses his status as a former prisoner, a symbol of the revolution's fight against tyranny, to plead for Darnay's release. But the wheels of justice, once set in motion, are difficult to stop. The revolutionary tribunal, fueled by the mob's volatile energy and swayed by the Defarges' manipulations, seems poised to deliver a guilty verdict. Dickens masterfully portrays the courtroom drama, the tension escalating with each passing moment. Dr. Manette delivers a heartfelt testimony, painting a picture of Darnay as a reformed man, someone who has renounced his family's past and embraced a life of compassion. For a brief moment, it seems like hope might prevail, but then Madame Defarge, ever the puppet master, reveals a crucial piece of evidence, a letter discovered in Dr. Manette's old cell years ago. This letter, written by Manette himself during his imprisonment, details the atrocities committed by the Evremonts, the very crimes that fueled Madame Defarge's insatiable thirst for vengeance. This revelation seals Darnay's fate. The tribunal, overwhelmed by the weight of the past, condemns him to death. The revolution, in its fervor for justice, has become blind to nuance, to individual redemption. Darnay, despite his noble efforts, is judged not for the man he has become, but for the sins of his ancestors. It's a stark reminder of how easily justice can be twisted, how personal vendettas can poison even the most righteous of causes. And now, with the shadow of the guillotine looming, Sidney Carton's promise to Lucie comes into sharp focus. His unrequited love for her transforms into a plan, as audacious as it is selfless. Knowing his resemblance to Darnay, Carton hatches a daring scheme to switch places with him in prison, sacrificing his own life to ensure Darnay's escape. The scene where they swap identities is pure Dickens, tense, dramatic, filled with a sense of impending doom. In the flickering candlelight of the prison cell, their fates intertwine. Carton, with a quiet determination, accepts his fate, finding a strange sense of peace in this act of ultimate sacrifice. And Darnay, unaware of the true cost of his freedom, is spirited away to safety, back to Lucie and the life that Carton has ensured for him. As Carton faces the guillotine, his thoughts are not of fear or regret, but of a strange sense of fulfillment. He utters those iconic words. "It is a far, far better thing that I do, than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to, than I have ever known." In that moment, Carton transcends his flaws, his cynicism, his unfulfilled potential. His sacrifice becomes a testament to the transformative power of love, a beacon of hope amidst the revolution's carnage. But Carton's act of selflessness has a ripple effect, extending far beyond his own demise. Darnay, given a second chance at life, can now honor Carton's sacrifice by living a life worthy of it. He can be the husband, the father, the man that Carton could never be. And Lucie, though forever marked by the loss of the man who loved her so deeply, can carry his memory with her, allowing his act of selflessness to inspire her own life. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about the Defarges? Surely, they wouldn't let Darnay's escape go unchallenged. And you're right, Madame Defarge, that force of revolutionary fury, is not one to be easily deterred. Her thirst for vengeance, fueled by years of simmering rage and personal tragedy, remains unquenched. Remember that chilling moment when we learned about the letter in Dr. Manette's cell, detailing the Evermonds' crimes. It was a stark reminder that the past has a way of casting a long shadow, that even those who seek to escape their lineage can't entirely outrun the consequences of their family's actions. So even as Darnay is making his way back to England, believing he's finally free, Madame Defarge sets her sights on a new target, Lucie, and her daughter, little Lucie. In her relentless pursuit of retribution, she seeks to eliminate any traces of the Evermond bloodline, to ensure that no one escapes the price of their ancestors' sins. It's a chilling reminder how easily justice can warp into something darker, how personal vendettas can fuel the flames of cruelty and blind individuals to reason and compassion. But amidst this maelstrom of vengeance, there's another character who steps forward, embodying the unwavering loyalty and courage that often go unnoticed. It's Miss Pross, Lucie's devoted maid and companion. This seemingly ordinary woman, fiercely protective of her mistress, and the young Lucie finds herself thrust into an extraordinary situation. Imagine this: a tense standoff in a darkened room, the air thick with fear and anticipation. Madame Defarge, with her cold determination, arrives at Lucie's lodgings, intent on capturing both mother and daughter. But Miss Pross, armed with nothing but her fierce love and unyielding courage, stands in her way. It's a clash of wills, a battle between two women representing opposing forces, the relentless pursuit of revenge and the unwavering defense of innocence. Their confrontation is brutal and chaotic, a physical struggle that underscores the high stakes. Miss Pross, despite being terrified, taps into a wellspring of inner strength, sacrificing her own hearing in the process, as she fights tooth and nail to protect Lucie and her child. In the end, she manages to hold off Madame Defarge, sacrificing her own hearing in the process, but ultimately ensuring the escape of those she loves. It's a moment that often gets overshadowed by the grander gestures of sacrifice, but it's no less heroic. Miss Pross, in her quiet determination and unwavering loyalty, exemplifies the everyday courage that can be just as powerful as any grand act of self-sacrifice. She's a testament to the strength that can reside in the most unassuming of individuals, reminding us that heroism can take many forms. So, as we reach the end of our deep dive into A Tale of Two Cities, we're left with a complex tapestry of emotions. There's the heartbreak of Carton's sacrifice, the bittersweet joy of Darnay's escape, the lingering sense of unease about the revolution's bloody aftermath. And through it all, Dickens masterfully interweaves these personal stories with the broader historical context, offering a profound meditation on love, loss, sacrifice, and the enduring power of the human spirit. He leaves us grappling with big questions: what drives individuals to acts of extraordinary selflessness? How do societies navigate the delicate balance between justice and vengeance? And how can we, even amidst chaos and upheaval, hold on to hope and strive for a better future? A Tale of Two Cities is more than just a historical novel. It's a timeless exploration of the human condition, a story that resonates across centuries, prompting us to reflect on our own capacity for darkness and light. So, as you go about your day, consider this. What are your own two cities? Where do you see the forces of hope and despair clashing? It's in your own life, in your community, in the world at large. And how can you, in your own way, embody the courage, the compassion, and the unwavering pursuit of a better tomorrow that Dickens so vividly portrays? Keep those questions in mind. And until next time, keep diving deep.